Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jim Kleiber Show. Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. I'm 7 minutes late, and that's okay. Sometimes we're late, and it happens, and we have to respect ourselves enough to give ourselves grace. I don't even know who joins and watches these shows, so I don't know if anyone else is on time either. Maybe other people are late. I noticed that people seem to join in much later as the show has already started. Today, what do I want to talk about? There's always so many things to talk about. So many things that flood into my mind. I want to talk about this one. I think a lot of times we don't talk about emotions because emotions are intimately connected to our bodies, and we don't want to reveal something about our bodies to somebody else. So let's dig into that. If I am feeling sadness, then there's something in my body. Maybe there's a pain in my heart. Maybe there's tears that are about to come, that I'm on the edge of crying, and I may not want people to know this. If I'm feeling angry, then it gives a clue to somebody that my heart is pumping really fast. If I'm feeling a little sick or queasy, then people have more insight into what's going on to my digestive system, my stomach and my intestines. If I'm feeling kind of nauseated, then you can kind of get maybe a feeling of what's going on again in the stomach and maybe the throat. If I'm feeling excited, you imagine the heart's racing fast and the body's kind of frantic in a way. There's so much that we reveal about our bodies when we talk about how we're feeling. Because I think, as I think it's Anna Wurtzbika who said it, she said the word emotion doesn't exist in all culture, but what does is to think and to feel. And emotion is really just thought applied to feeling. Feeling being a sensation that we have inside of our bodies. And so emotion is inextricably tied to the sensations that we feel and what's happening inside of our bodies. And it can feel quite, we can feel quite vulnerable when we open up and share that much information about what's happening inside of us. We talk about fear, when we talk about, it really can go into the, fear can and show that our heart is racing really fast and that we're kind of looking around and a bit scared. And yeah, so much can reveal what's going on with our bodies. How much of your emotional life is driven actually by things happening within inside the body? So, for example, how much of your anger relates to back pain that you have? Or how much of your confusion relates to what's going on with your ankle? Or how much of your excitement has to do with the strength that you found in your muscles lately? Or how much of the pride has to do with your physical appearance or your physical capability? And so when we ask someone how they're doing, a lot of times some people aren't doing that well because they're having pain in a certain part of their body, or they're something's not working in the way that they expected it to. And so there's a lot of fear or confusion or worry about what's really causing that confusion. For example, for me, I'd say over the last couple of years, I've on and off, more on than off, had troubles with like tension right here in my neck, in the front part of the neck, and therefore kind of like some pain in the back of my neck. And it's hurt sometimes, but more than anything, it's really worried me and confused me. Is it going to cause long-term damage? What am I doing that's contributing to this? Is it emotional? Am I so stressed out about something else that therefore it bottles up in the neck? And so if somebody asks me how I'm doing, or what I think about topic X, and the topic, often is politics or religion or business or something, I might get really angry and frustrated with that topic. But really, most of the confusion, the anger, and the worry is coming from the physical problem that I'm experiencing. And I just don't know how often we open up and share those things with other people, right? It's one thing to share maybe a problem with my neck, but wow, this mustache is tickling my nose. But it's another thing to share a problem with something that's maybe a little more intimate. So something, depending on the culture, right? So things that are considered intimate in different cultures. Here in the US, to talk about your digestive process or your bowel movements or something like that is considered quite taboo to do so in public, but apparently in certain parts of Europe, it's not nearly as taboo. I'm sure there's different parts of US culture where it's not as taboo. And so for me, I feel a bit nervous sharing things about that. Okay, I'll give a real story. So I was on a project in Germany, and I was having a lot of problem with constipation. And I didn't want to share this with anyone. And I shared it with one of the trainers, and she was like, oh, yeah, it happens. Like, okay, you got to do this and this and this. Take care of yourself. Make sure to prioritize this and this and this. And then, that condition was making me feel frustrated and angry and confused. And I could take that out on the participants, And so what happened, it was like one of the sessions, she said in front of the whole group that I was experiencing constipation, and I was mortified. Like, don't tell everybody that I'm struggling with this. Like, nobody needs to know this. And it was just something that I felt so vulnerable and so like raw. Like people were seeing all of my humanity, whether I wanted them to or not. And I think that can really be the challenge. And one of the reasons we don't talk about what we're feeling is because what we're feeling, yes, it relates to decisions, like business decisions and beliefs and identities and things like that. And a lot of times it just really relates to the physical condition that we're in. And a lot of times we don't want to tell people about that physical condition. I had a good friend of mine who we went on vacation once. He unfortunately was like running into the water in the beach, and his testicles, what do they call it? Torsioned or something. They became twisted, and he actually had to go to the hospital to get them fixed. And what an embarrassing thing! Like that could be very embarrassing for somebody to admit and to talk about. But when somebody asks you, how are you doing? And you just grit your teeth and you go, I'm fine. No. Well, you're supposed to say, well, I'm feeling a bit, I'm struggling or I'm hurting a bit. And then people go, why? And then you say, it's none of your business, or I don't want to say. And then people go, well, was it something that I did? And often when people don't tell us why they're feeling the things they're feeling, then we can start to make up reasons. It must have been something I did. Or wow, maybe he's really angry at this, or maybe he's really frustrated with this. Oh, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the medical condition he's going through at the moment. Oh, okay. So I try to remind myself of this a lot when I'm talking with people and they seem to be so angry at the world or so afraid of the world and so confused. I try to ask myself, how do I imagine they might be feeling kind of in their body? And I have some friends who have been struggling with many things, right? So I have some friends, close friends, who have different forms of diabetes. I have some close friends who are either going through cancer or know somebody who's going through cancer. I know some people who know people who are going through cancer for the second or third time. I know some people who are struggling with back pain or neck pain or knee pain or stomach pain or, and this is all that I know. There's so much that I don't know, I'm sure, because we don't really talk about these things too much. Again, maybe in some cultures there's more openness about this. Maybe if people are nurses or doctors, then they're typically more candid with other nurses or doctors about what's going on. Maybe. Or maybe if people have been in the military and have seen each other at like the depths and the rawness of their own humanity, then they're more likely to share this with each other. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that all cultures don't share what's happening inside the body. I just think it can be a very revealing thing. At the same time, when we share it with somebody else, it can help them know so much about what's going on with us, which is dangerous because they could use that information to hurt us, but they can also use that information to help us. And this is the challenge. I think sharing emotions, talking about how we feel, is one of the most powerful tools that we have as human beings. And because it's one of the most powerful tools, it could be used to hurt or it could be used to help, you know? And I think too often, so many of us are afraid that it'll be used to hurt us that we don't open up, and therefore it can't be used to help us either. I talked about yesterday, I think I talked about compassion and how if we want somebody to help us, we have to open up and show them where we're hurting. Or they have to guess, but it's a lot harder to guess. It's much easier for us to say. I try to use the example of kids. When we're a kid and we're experiencing pain in our stomach, or when we're a baby, all we do is cry. When we're a kid, we may point to a spot. As we get more articulate with language, we can communicate very specifically what's happening. We can say, instead of crying or instead of pointing, we can say, there's a very sharp, consistent pain that is happening on my lower right abdomen. And every time I stand up, the pain worsens. When I lie down, the pain relaxes a little bit, but it's still consistent. And if I say it like that, wow, you have such a view into what's happening with my lower right abdomen. I mean, I had appendicitis. And so really I think how I recognized it, hopefully, was that I said, I feel bad when I've gone to the bathroom, when I haven't gone to the bathroom, when I stand up, when I sit down, when I lie down, I feel bad in all positions. And then over time, I started to feel a growing pain in the lower right abdomen, and it became a more focused or centralized pain. And I said, I think, I read a little bit. I said, I think I have appendicitis. I think I should go to the hospital. And my mom actually didn't believe me, not out of because I think she thinks I can exaggerate sometimes on the medical conditions I'm feeling. What do they call it? Hypochondriac? Yeah. And so, but then it turned out it was true. We went to the hospital and they said, yep, you have appendicitis. We're going to an appendectomy and then you're done. And so that ability to communicate that specific, that very highly precise information really helped me. And I think it can help us in so many other scenarios. Again, it could also hurt us. If you're in a fight with somebody and you say, this is my weakest spot right here. My ankle has been bothering me for many weeks. That person could kick you in the ankle and screw you up. Now, at the same time, by informing that person that your ankle is your weakest part, or you could say that your heel is the weakest part, if you want to go with the whole Achilles heel thing, by pointing it out, in a way, it also lets the other person know that you are aware that this is something that is a weak spot for you, and that you'll probably protect it even more so. So if I say, listen, my ankle's really, hey, listen, my ankle's really hurting, even if the person is trying to attack me at the ankle, I may myself be more aware that the ankle is hurting and therefore be more likely to protect it and to fight in a way that people can't access the ankle. Yeah, that's why I often tell people, if you're feeling angry, tell the other person you're feeling angry, because one of the most powerful things you do when you do that is you let the other person know that you're feeling angry. Because often the other person can sense it and see it and feel it. And the other person knows that you're feeling angry, but to have the awareness that you know that you're feeling angry, it can really disarm some people. Like, well, you're angry? Oh, okay. So it's just a simple method of disarming, but also letting the other person that you're aware of what's going on in your body, and so that if they want to help you, they can help. But if they're going to try to hurt you, you're aware of it. And so you may be very protective or careful to not let them come in with ill intentions. Yeah, I think how much would you say of your emotional health right now relies on something that's happening physically with you? How much of the fear that you carry with your life right now relates to something physical to your body right now? How much of the pride relates to something physical to your body? How much of the uh, shame relates to something physical to your body? How much of the confusion relates to something physical to your body? How much of the uh, the joy or the gratitude relates to something physical with your body? How much does your body impact how you're feeling in the world? You know, if you're sitting here and you're watching this and you're feeling very cold, how does that sensation of cold um, impact you? How does it impact other aspects of your lives? Does it? Does it trickle down into other aspects of your lives? If you're feeling very cold, are you more likely to shout at somebody or snap at somebody or retreat from other people? If you're feeling very hot, same thing. Are you more likely to get angry? Are you more likely to uh, feel like frustrated or confused? Or what about when you think you have something that's going on with your body that confuses you? You think it might be a long-term problem, or you think it might be a severe problem. How does that impact the rest of your day? How does it impact how you interact and communicate with other people? How does it impact the decisions you make? If you're sitting there thinking about, oh no, like maybe my ankle's broken, or maybe I have a long-term problem with my ankle, how does that impact the decisions that you're making at work? The fear of, does that fear of some sign happening right now translate into fear of some sign in work happening right now that may lead to a longer term problem? I think our bodies are, I mean, we have this, what people say, what mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body, and heart, and this segregation of all these concepts. But isn't the mind part of the body? Isn't the brain part of the body? Isn't the heart part of the body? Like, isn't the body the main thing? Are we anything without a body? Now, that's a whole different philosophical, spiritual conversation, perhaps. But maybe there's the body spirit challenge. But I don't know. I think regardless of whether there's a complete segregation, or whether there's one and all the rest are subordinate or whatnot, I think too often we don't celebrate and recognize the importance of the body. So not say to downplay the other ones, but to play up the importance of the body, to shift a little more of our attention to what's going on with our bodies and other people's bodies. Because at the end of the day, these things happen. We eat food, and we take food in, we put food out, we bring water in, we put water out, we breathe air in, we breathe air out, we move, we don't move, we break things, we rebuild things, we do so much with our bodies. And I think especially in kind of the professional world and the political world and kind of public life in general, we can, especially in the West, especially in the US, we can prioritize the mind. We can prioritize, especially the brain, and forget that the body has a very, very strong impact on how we're feeling. So, next time you're in a restaurant and you see that one person shouting at the waiter and being so crotchety with the waiter, maybe pause and ask yourself, how do I imagine this person might be feeling? What else might the person, what's one thing that I might make this person be feeling frustrated in their lives? What's one thing that might make this person feel hopeless in their lives? Or when they think about their body, what's one thing that currently might make them feel ashamed? Or when they think about their body, what's one thing that currently might make them feel helpless? Simple things like that. So quick questions that could really help us dive into imagining what the breadth of emotion that person might be feeling, the breadth of the context that the person's actually going through. Because you know what? That person may be having pain in their back for the last couple years. Or maybe they're having lower abdominal pain and they're scared. They're just scared. They want to go into the doctor, but they have a history of maybe pancreatic cancer or some type of cancer, and they're scared. They don't want to face the reality that that's what it might be. Who knows? Who knows? We all are experiencing so many things, and we say so little about what we're going through. And we leave other people to guess. And often those people guess, we guess that we're the ones causing the pain. Because if we weren't the ones causing them the pain, then obviously they would tell us what's wrong. But because they're not telling us, it must be something we did, or something we are, or something we have or don't have. Ha! And we can get stuck in that trap. So this is just a reminder to open up, and it can help others help us. And ironically, in opening up, it can also prevent others from harming us, because they know that we're aware that certain things are happening with our bodies. So as we move forward in this country, as we move forward in the species, one thing again to practice is saying how I feel, imagining how other people might be feeling, and then step 3, to say one thing to connect with love. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all struggling in very, very similar yet different ways. And we're incredibly fragile and incredibly resilient at the same time. Anyways, speaking of the body, I'm super thirsty, which tells you that I'm feeling a dryness in my throat, and that, what else does it tell you? I'm thirsty. I'm a little antsy. So antsy says that my leg is bouncing up and down. A lot of times I actually just pay attention to what my body's doing to realize how I'm feeling. If I'm picking at my nails, then maybe I'm super nervous or stressed about something. I'm laughing, so I'm feeling relaxed and somewhat grateful and joyful, playful. Yeah. So, I mean, to summarize, our bodies tell us a lot about our emotions. And if we listen to them a little more, we could have a better idea of how we're feeling, but also a better idea of how other people are feeling and why we and they are behaving in the way that we are. Cool. I hope that helped. Goodness, I never know if this helps. I'm speaking into some some lighted box. So it's like I'm looking at myself. I'm speaking into a mirror and hoping that the world takes something away from it. That's a whole different conversation, by the way, about speaking into a video call and having the camera reflected back to us on the screen. So if we have anything going on, any emotions that are going on with our body as it relates to, chest up, then those might be triggered by us just speaking into the camera. So we get on here and we go, oh, like, shoot, like, look at my beard. Like, oh, I feel embarrassed maybe that the beard is a bit too shaggy, or, oh my gosh, my hair is kind of crazy. I'm a little proud of it, but I'm a little like, what is that, And how all these things can be happening within one person during a video call, but we don't say it. So maybe the person's like, well, why are they doing this? Like, what's oh gosh, we've put up so many walls about our internal lives that maybe it's time to build a few bridges, or at least let down the toll bridge so people can come in. All right, y'all. Enjoy Thursday. I'm going to take Friday off tomorrow. I'm liking this idea of not doing Fridays. and I will talk to you all on Monday.